And we're live! Yay! Okay, very professional beginning. Hi guys! I am here tonight with the lovely Little Pop Workshop. Say hi, Little Pop Workshop.
Hey guys, what's up?
And what's your real name?
I'm Elizabeth.
Okay, and I need to just show everybody, if you're wondering who Elizabeth is and who Little Pop Workshop is, she does awesome shit like this. Yes. She gave me this at Houston, SPN Houston, and I was so giddy that I was screaming in the vendor's room, oh my God, I've been popped, oh my God, I've been popped. And then people were saying, Jody, you have 4 kids. That happened a long time ago. Not what I meant, but that's, you know, welcome to the Supernatural Conventions. Anyway, she does astounding work, and we are here today to talk all about it. So, how you doing?
I'm doing all right for a Thursday night in the middle of the work week.
And you are in your studio right now as we are speaking, aren't you?
Yes, I am, especially since last time I was in temporary workspace mode, so it feels really awesome to actually get to show you what the real workspace looks like.
Do you want to give us a tour?
Sure. Let me move out of the way. Okay, so right here is basically where the magic actually happens. It's where I put together all of my pops. I do the painting, I do the sanding, I do the molding. It looks a lot cleaner now because I actually did clean it. And then there's some paint cans, a couple of pops I'm going to show you guys later on. And then my awesome prototype wall that is overflowing, which is why I was getting rid of a bunch of them on Twitter the other day.
Well, there's something very special about the map you have hanging up. Do you want to tell everybody about what that map shows?
Yes, that map indicates everywhere that one of my creations currently lives. So on some of the bigger countries like Canada, I marked specific provinces, but Australia, there's no way to do that. So Australia is just red. And then most of Europe, a big chunk of the United States, I need to update it, honestly, for the last couple months, but that is a good representation of where all of my creations currently reside, which is, I look up at that and I feel so humbled that so many people across the world would want something I made. It's an amazing feeling to get to look and see an actual representation of what I see online.
It's very mind-blowing. It is absolutely mind-blowing to look at it. But I do have to say, you know, when I saw that Australia was all red, the immediate thing I thought of was every kangaroo in Australia jumping around with one of your pops in its pouch or something.
I am surprised. I actually do have a lot of fans and customers in Australia. I mean, it's kind of surreal because that's all the way on the other side of the globe from me.
You know, well, it's a testament to your work. You do beautiful, exceptional, detailed, kick-ass work, and that's what happens. So speaking of, why don't you tell us about how you got started? How did Little Pop Workshop come to be?
Well, I'm also the admin for Little Castiel on social media, and I had wanted some more supernatural friends to join the Castiel Funko family and interact in that little world, and Funko wasn't moving fast enough for me. So I decided, I had looked online and thought and found other customizers that were doing work, and I was really amazed that this was even something you could do. I had no idea that you could customize Funko figures. I had known of customizing, you know, action figures and dolls and things like that, but I didn't think that this sort of thing lent itself to customization. So after doing a little bit of research, I decided to make my own little Gabriel to join his brother and the Winchesters in the little Casverse. And it took me 6 hours to actually get that first Gabriel made because I had no idea what I was doing. I I was trying to figure out, how do I take it apart? All I've got is a hairdryer. I'm doing it in my living room. I happened to grab some paint from Walmart and some brushes, and I got them apart, and I painted it, and there's still, I don't really want to go back and clean them up because it's kind of a testament to how far I've come in terms of my skill level. But other times I look at them like, I really should remake you. I should redo this.
You know, wouldn't that be interesting to do? Because I do that with my pieces. Like I look at, especially, you know, when you go into Facebook every day and you get the memories, you know, and 5 years ago on this day, and then it's got this horrible piece of shit that I made. Oh my God, do I still do stuff like that? And it's funny to see your growth over time, right? You know, so it would be really interesting. I like the fact that you kept it the way it was originally done and then comparing it to where you are now. I mean, that's the best way to gauge it.
It's really funny because I see a lot of traditional artists, you know, like Scout and Euclase, who do those kind of drawing memes where it's like, this is what I did 6 years ago and this is what I'm capable of doing now. And I never thought of doing it with a physical piece of art, but that might be something that I do this for the anniversary this October, is making a new Gabriel and saying, okay, this is how far I've come with what I can do.
That's amazing. Yeah. That sounds like it needs to happen. It really does. So, no episode of So Get This would be complete without the lovely Video Bomber. Hello, Raven.
Hi.
Say hello to Elizabeth.
My hands.
She was playing with food coloring. We made our own slime.
Well,
yeah.
I washed all the paint off my hands.
So see, Elizabeth's hands are cleaner than yours.
Yeah, I know. Usually they're streaked with paint and God knows what else.
Did you know that? I start school tomorrow.
Oh, Raven starts school tomorrow. She wanted everybody to know. Awesome. And all I have to say is may the force be with you. And
I was so nervous.
I know. Okay, now I'm talking to Elizabeth, you boogerhead. We are getting a question from Sarah Castro. All right. Sarah would like to know if you would be able to show the first Gabriel that you made, if that's possible right now.
I can. I would need to go find him. So if you give me like 5 minutes, I can go grab him.
Cool. Okay. So Raven, you entertain all these people. Hi! Elizabeth will be right back. She's going to get the first Gabriel. She's going to get it for you, Sarah. Okay. All the way from the other side of the world. Hello, just Simi. Am I pronouncing that correctly? I'm sorry if I'm not. I tend to massacre people's names. I do not. You are a new viewer, aren't you? Okay, so Raven. Okay. Oh, you found him?
Yeah, I found him. I knew where he was. It just took me a little bit to go get him. All right. So this is my original Gabriel.
I see nothing wrong with that.
Underneath is where I have the problem because I didn't know how to get the plug off originally. I just knew how to get the head. So the plug is covered in paint from me trying to paint his shoulders. And he's really shiny because I didn't know exactly what I was doing with sealant. And sealant, when you're doing a custom Funko, sealant is very important because it keeps them from scraping. It keeps the paint from scraping off. But he's covered in it because I thought, you know, I'm just going to cover everything just to be 100% sure that this is going to not scrape off. Because he goes everywhere with me. He goes where Kaz and Sam and Dean go. So I wanted to make sure that he was going to stand the test of time.
And how long did you make him?
How long since I've made him? 2 summers ago.
Okay.
So I think he's at least 2 years old now. Happy birthday, little dude.
Happy birthday. Oh, okay. So are you just Simi? Is it just Simi? Am I saying that correctly?
Yeah, that's Simi. Hey, Simi.
Okay, she's one of Elizabeth's friends. Is she in the Netherlands?
Yes, that is my friend who made our Wayward Wonder Women shirts.
I love the Wayward Wonder Woman shirt. Can you like show everybody real quickly? Woo, look at
It's
that!
the campaign shirt. It's still available on Teespring until the 11th, and it's a charity campaign. I'm doing it for Family Promise of Lake Houston, which is a local organization in my area that helps low-income families get back on their feet after, extenuating circumstances, loss of a job, loss of a family member, loss of their home. It gives them job training so that they can go out and find new work. It's a great organization, and I've actually seen it in person help a very good friend of mine. So when I thought of doing a charity shirt, they were the first people that I wanted to help, because all those big organizations, they get all the attention, they get all the campaigns. So I wanted to think small and local.
Very, very. If you'd like, what we could do after the show, when it uploads into my channel, I can go back into the description and put the link to.
That would be, that would be great. And I mean, we have more than just shirts. I mean, there's mugs, there's tote bags, there's hoodie. I just added a long sleeve shirt yesterday for people who like to cover their arms, and there's stickers too. But every little bit helps the campaign, and we just hit $125 yesterday.
Yeah,
great.
That's awesome. Yeah, by all means, send me the link, and I will be happy to update the description and promote.
Thank you.
Promote. Okay, so you and I were talking. I think, was it yesterday? No, it was about something else yesterday. I think it was last week when you were telling me that you were very excited because you just signed up to do your very first
convention. Yes, I'm very excited. Oh, this is an amazing opportunity. It's a one-day in-store convention run by a good friend of mine who I've known for years. And it's an opportunity for local artists from the Woodlands and Conroe and Spring to get together and promote their wares to other like-minded fans. And they've got Sam De La Rosa, who does the art for Venom. He's coming in. He's their main headlining guest. So he's going to be doing art at the con for people. And they'd have a cosplay contest. It's just a great opportunity for fans and comic fans, TV show fans, just nerds of the area to kind of come together and just have some fun on a Saturday.
That's amazing. So how do you find the preparation going for this?
It's going. I've never done this sort of thing before. So I'm learning new things about me as a preparer, and also about my own art, because I'm trying to figure out what do I sell, because I can only make so much beforehand. And also people have budgets. Even going into a small one-day store con, they have a set budget saying this is all I can spend. So I'm trying to work on little things that I can also have for those kids who just have a couple dollars of pocket money. I'm going to be ordering a button maker after this call, so that I can sell buttons at the con and hopefully have some in my shop too. Just cute little Funko buttons. Maybe even turn the Wayward Wonder Woman into a button. I'm not sure. I'll figure it out as I get there.
It sounds amazing. I can't wait to see. The buttons are a great idea.
Yeah. And the cool thing is that for this con, I'm pulling the trigger, and I'm doing con exclusive pops.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I've got 3 of them behind me. I can grab them real quick. I'm a huge fan of the cartoon show Archer, which is totally not kid appropriate.
I know Archer. I've not watched it, but I know of it. And
it's hilarious. So I made Archer and Lana, and they'll be available as a set. I think I'm working on at least having 3 of them, 3 of the sets available. And then I am going to be, I don't knock him over. My World War II Bucky. And I'm working on a Peggy to go with him. I'm not sure if I'm going to have Peggy yet, but that's the goal.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm sorry, Raven is the microphone here is very sensitive. Every time Raven breathes, the camera switches.
Wait, I breathe loud?
Raven, go sit over there.
No.
Okay. And wait a minute, I thought I saw something over there. There's one over there. I don't know if you're allowed to talk about him.
Which one are you talking about? So
Yeah.
What?
I haven't been told no.
I mean, he did put it out on Twitter. He wanted one, right?
It was out there. I just finished him last night. This is Cliff. Yeah. I haven't heard back from him about it, but I'm really happy because the beard. I am improving on my beard game.
Well, you and I were talking about it yesterday, I think. I mean, the amount of detail that goes into your pieces, that's you sculpting, and it's incredible.
Yeah. Like my Benny, who he's not here for me to show you, but my Benny and this one and the beards on my Kings of Con Pops, those are actually sculpted on there by me out of Sculpey. They're not original to the figure.
That's great. It's really hard to see through the video the level of detail in her work. I strongly urge you to, and I'm going to post, I think I posted the link to her shop in the description. So when the video loads to my channel, please go visit her Etsy shop so that you can get these really good up-close pictures and see. Switching back a gear to going to the conventions, and you were talking about how, you've never had to prepare for something like this before. As a veteran con worker, having done this about 4 or 5 years now, I still don't have it down yet. So don't worry, it's a learning process, and especially as you start expanding what you're working on, you'll find that your needs change. What you have to prepare for changes. You have to think about packaging. You have to think about price points. You have to think about a bazillion different things, and it comes together. You learn, and you go. And speaking of conventions, we have an announcement to make, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Okay, so for those of you who are around my age, might know who, or you might have parents who know. Buck Rogers, who is portrayed by Gil Gerard. It was a very popular TV show. And Gil is going to be using Elizabeth's piece as a giveaway at DragonCon this year. She has made 2 very special Buck Rogers pieces, and she is going to show them to you right now.
Yes, I am.
Take it away.
This is the one that will be the giveaway for the match game at DragonCon in September. This is his white suit version, if I can get. I blame the computer camera. And then this one I made because he had asked for a second one that he could keep. So I made his dress uniform. So technically, there's Buck Rogers twins.
And you know what? We can be twinsies. Want to know why?
Why?
Because I have prizes too. Gil will be giving away my jewelry at the match game at DragonCon this year as well. So to go with your lovely white uniformed Buck Rogers, I have the white uniform Buck Rogers piece. And he won't stay still because he's hyper. And then I have a dress uniform version. Ta-da!
That looks like Wonder Woman.
Did you hear her?
Sort of.
It looks like Wonder Woman, and I can't say I didn't think that too. because it's the same color scheme.
Yeah, the colors are very similar, but
Yeah, they are. They are. And that's because Wonder Woman and Buck Rogers are awesome, and that's why.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ow.
Right? Sorry.
But it's kind of awesome because when I was making these, actually, my mom was the first one to ever see them and when they were finished. And when I showed her the white uniform one, she's like, I know who that is! Which is hilarious because when I show her my creation, she's like, that's cool. I don't know who that is.
Well, it's funny, right? Because we have a very distinct market that we sell to. So
she's aware of Supernatural. She's watched a couple episodes. She calls Jensen Ackles Eric Brady. She's not as into it as I am. So it was kind of a cool moment for me too, to know that I created something she knew and that she was excited about. So, but yeah, the look on her face was was priceless.
and she's a fan too, right?
She and my dad both have been longtime fans of Buck Rogers.
That's
both
awesome.
the film and the show.
That's fantastic. So I'm very happy for you that you have this opportunity, and not only did you have the opportunity, but you knocked it out of the park like I thought you would. I mean, those are incredible, absolutely incredible. And I have a feeling that people are going to be asking you for more of those.
Maybe, but we'll see, because definitely the white uniform one was a bit of a challenge because there's just so much detail on the bands, on his belt. There was just so much to it that we'll have to see.
Well, awesome, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Very, very exciting. So now I'm going to look at my cheat sheet because I can't remember Jack.
Yeah.
Means Jack squat, means nothing, nada. Okay, so what is your favorite custom pop that you've been asked to do? Your favorite commission?
My commission?
Yeah, like a favorite one that you didn't normally have, but someone said, hey, can you make this? And it turned out to be one of your favorite projects.
Huh. Well, definitely the Buck Rogers ones are up there because they were a great challenge in terms of my skills, and they were just a fun project, and Gail and Janet were great to work with on the project. They gave a lot of feedback on it, which is something I love about what I do, is I love receiving constructive feedback from followers and from customers, letting me know, what am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? Because otherwise I don't learn. Another one I think I really enjoyed was I love making the little me's, what I call a little me, which is basically your little Eldwin. Is I make Funko versions of real people, and I've had them commissioned for birthdays. I've had them commissioned for Christmas, going away parties, those sort of things. But my favorite commission probably was the first one I ever got, which was this couple in Italy. This guy contacted me. He was my first ever customer, and he contacted me on Etsy and was like, I want to commission you to make me and my girlfriend into Pops. And you are the fourth store I've tried that would do it within the time frame I asked. And he was looking, because they weren't living together at the time. He wanted to give it as a Christmas present because they were going to be together on Christmas, and then they were going to trade. So he was going to hold on to hers, and she was going to have him until they could live together. And that story and working with him on that project is probably one of my favorite memories of doing commissions, just because he was doing it for love, and I love love. I love getting the opportunity to help celebrate that.
That's so amazing to be a part of such a beautiful story, and that's a testament to your work, and you touch people's lives in ways you can't imagine, and that's so lovely. That's such a nice story. So now let me ask you this. Aside from customs, what's your favorite pop that you've made to date?
It's a three-way. It's gonna four-way tie. Four-way tie. It's number one's always going to be my Gabriel because he's the first one. He got me started on this path. Sometimes I blame him for getting me started on this path, but he's always going to be very special to me. The next one's going to be my Kings of Con figures by Rich and Rob, because they were kind of, it was like a bookend kind of thing, because I did both Gabriel and Chuck. Those were my first two. And then I made Rob and Rich. And it's kind of really funny to see the four of them together, because you see what a mess Gabe and Chuck are. And then you look at what I did for Rob and Rich, and it's a world of difference. And Rob and Rich were the first ones that I ever did my new beard design on. So they also kind of mark a milestone in terms of my skill. Sorry, Dean's really distracting me right now because he doesn't like that he's not the center of attention.
That's Dean.
This is
Dean. Our kitty. The kitty's name is Dean.
I was not like,
Yeah. And when he's bad, he's Kitty Deanman.
Kitty Dean. Oh, he's so cute. He's a yum yum.
Yeah, he's mad because he's not getting any attention. So I'm gonna have
we will give you so much attention.
so much attention. See?
Welcome to cyberspace, kitty.
Yeah, he's everywhere. My third one would probably be about my Wayward Wonder Women, just because that was the tiaras, the diadems in particular, were such a challenge to do because they're so small. But I loved that series because it was about empowerment. And that film was incredibly empowering to me. And those women that I made into the Funko versions are incredibly empowering to me. And so it made sense to combine the two together.
What'd you see? Absolutely.
What'd you see? And then my fourth one's probably my first Bobby make, because he was the first time I ever tried sculpting on the figure. Before that, it was all paint. It was all repainting and putting pieces together. And then he was sculpting. Hello, kitty.
This is Jinx.
A kitty play date. Oh, he looks like my Coulson.
Aww.
Yeah, he looks like Dean's Uncle Coulson.
Aww.
You want me to
Now
put you
he's
down?
gonna lick my arm for the next hour and a half.
Okay, you want downs. I'm gonna put him down. But yeah, Bobby, he looks terrible. But like Gabriel, I've never had the heart to change him, just because it's a testament to my skill and where I've come from. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is 100% pure grade vinyl spackle.
Really?
Really, because that is what I use to start doing molding and additions to the figures, because, like I said, didn't know what I was doing. And I'd read online somewhere you can't bake Funko Pops to do Sculpey. So I was trying to find another material that would work. And so I grabbed a can of vinyl spackle out of the Walmart and thought, oh, vinyl. It makes sense. But since then I have moved up to Sculpey, and I'm experimenting a little bit with Milliput and other various putties, just to try and find what's the best material for me to sculpt and do what I do.
It's fun, right? It's a fun process to go through all these different mediums and figure out, just playing with them and seeing what happens, right? I mean, I enjoy doing that.
You never know what's going to be the best to work with, but particularly it's also finding what's the most cost-effective material to work with. Because I mean, if I'm making them for just my collection, cost isn't that much of a factor, because it's your own personal piece. But if you're making it for your business, you have to think, can I really afford to use this much of this material, or do I have to go for this material that works just as well? It's just slightly cheaper.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a business decision.
Right. I mean, artistically, both materials will work and do the same job. It's just, you know, one is $14 a pack, and the other one is like $8 a pack. So it's not a matter of sacrificing quality. It's just a matter of I cannot afford $14 a pack right now and blow through it the way that I do sometimes.
That's true. I mean, that's also, you know, unfortunately, you know, being in a creative field, when you're trying to develop new products or you know, new designs, and you're experimenting with me, and I'm like throwing wire in the garbage. I'm like, this isn't working good. And if you look at my garbage and you see all the poor wire that's in there, I want to cry. I'm like, that's about $25 worth of wire, you know. And but it's worth it in the long run, because that's how you get to your end result. You know,
Right.
You have to spend a little bit more than you normally would like to, but in the end, it's worth it, because you wind up with a product that you're proud of to give to a customer. Because, you know, and I know you take extreme pride in your work, and you're a perfectionist. You know, I know that. So I know that it's best to go through and test drive all of these things and make sure that what your end result is a quality product that you can stand behind.
Right. And I mean, that's why I make a lot of prototypes. That's why I make one ahead of time, so I can work through the kinks, figure out, you know, what paint color is best. Is this material going to be the best way to do this? And I learn, you know, each subsequent figure that I make, I get better at it. So that means having that opportunity to make that initial figure and figure out, okay, is this going to be what I want it to be? Is this the image that I'm getting inside my head?
I'm going to jump over to the chat window and see what's going on here really quickly. So Simi is saying that she can relate, you know, because she uses Microsoft Paint, Photoshop, and Illustrator from the experimental standpoint. And then I got to scroll up because, wow, you guys are so active. I love it. Oh, Karen's here. Hi, Karen. She wants to hug your cat. Okay.
Aww, he likes hugs. He's a hugger.
And Karen says playing with new material is the best part of artistry. It's definitely up there for me too. I love it. And she also makes a good point, learning from mistakes, which is what you were talking about too. Great tips. Melanie says great tips for any creative field. Oh, okay. And Simi is asking you, do you make a cheat to test out which colors work?
Do I a cheat?
I don't know what that means.
Okay.
I thought that was like a code between you two or something.
I have done. I guess that's meaning like paint swatches. I have done that. I did that today because I was making my new Dean Winchester, and skin tones and hair color are the hardest things to nail. Honestly, like clothes I can get done because that's fine. But skin tones and hair they're so specific. They're so very specific, and there's a lot. If you get the skin tone wrong, so much can go wrong. So I did the paint swatches today to just test, because my original, he was too pale. He was way too pale. He was like sparkly vampire pale. So I was trying to make him tan because, you know, I've seen Jensen Ackles up close. I know he's not that pale. I know. So I'm trying my best to make sure that I'm matching the colors. So yeah, I've done those kind of things. I've done the paint swatches to figure out, you know, which one is going to work here. But it's mostly with hair and skin. If I'm going to be changing those, it's going to be, those are the ones I do paint swatches for.
Very cool. Yes, because she confirmed she meant not cheat.
Bye.
Oh, bye, Video Bomber.
Bye.
Okay, Ray.
Bye, Ray.
The building.
No.
Get out.
Bye.
I love you. Bye-bye. Bye. Go. Okay.
I'm ruining it.
Yeah, you are. Sorry.
It's all good.
Oh, Karen's laughing. Glitter Jensen. Yeah. I actually saw Glitter Jensen before she corrected the color, and it was Twilight. Totally Twilight. It was a nice one, though. I mean, it was still beautiful.
Yeah, I was happy with like everything but the skin, and like earlier, it's like I am a perfectionist. If I'm gonna show something off, it's gonna be at the level I want it. So I did. I went back and did some color correcting. I can reach over and it not be weird. But yeah, I went back. According to the camera, he's still pale. But I went back and did some color correcting on his skin and gave him freckles and stubble. Because that's one thing that irritates me about the Funko ones. They don't give him enough stubble, you know? Because that's he has that. He's not clean shaven all the time.
He needs the manly scruff.
Yes.
They don't get them.
No.
So, if you could do a pop, what would the ultimate pop be? If you had a chance to do anything, what would it be?
Right now, it would be, I would love to do the Lifeboat and the Mothership from NBC's Timeless, because those are really amazing designs. And I love how the Time Team, like the good guys, get the scrappy ragtag piece of crap that they managed to throw together and somehow it works. And then the bad guys get the sleek, kind of pretty, shiny new thing. And I would love to make the two of them because they're great designs. And I love the pop rides. I do. I love the pop rides. I'm still going to finish my Impala just because that's going to be like the coup de grace in my collection of my skills is making the Impala. It's slow going. It's really slow going because it's that harder plastic. It's that really hard plastic versus soft vinyl. So it's different materials I'm having to use to customize it. But I'm hoping that I'll have it done by October, so I'll get to bring it to NOLA. That's
awesome. Yeah, I mean, when you're dealing with an entirely new material, so it's a challenge. You have to learn how it works, basically.
And I have one shot. I have one car to make this work. So I'm having to take the utmost care to make sure I don't accidentally sand through the door or overdo the front end. You know, it's a learning process. So it's probably going to take me until October to get it finished.
Wow. Well, Ori has decided to grace us with her presence. Oh, you're only 40 minutes late. That's okay. That's okay. See, she's driving me to drink. You see this? This is Ori's fault right here. I blame her. I love you, Ori.
Can I light an incense?
With your father.
Ask?
Go ask your father, please. I'm kind of in the
Hi,
middle
Ori.
of something.
I said hi.
Yes. And she heard you. So did everybody else watching this live stream. Anyway.
And so will everyone watching this later on Twitter or on
Exactly.
YouTube. I know social media. I swear I do.
Cyberspace. Okay, so back to my cheat sheet. Oh, okay. This is actually a deep question. Let's go there. What is it like? What is your experience working as a small business in a creative industry?
It has been the biggest learning experience of my life, and that is coming from me being in 8 years of college. That is having a bachelor's degree and almost being done with a master's. This is the biggest learning experience of my life because I jumped in feet first. Had no idea what I was doing. I thought if I sell one, I'll be happy. And then it's become this big ball of messy, timey-wimey stuff. And I'm learning all of these new things about art, and I'm learning about the business side from you and from other business owners, and just trying to figure out what am I doing. So honestly, if someone is going to do this like me and like you, I would recommend research the hell out of what you're doing. Please go Sam Winchester the shit out of it, because you're going to save yourself so much time and consternation and backtracking, trying to, reclaim or redo or understand what you're doing. And, don't be afraid to ask for help. Go find someone who knows. Go ask. Be willing to pay for that advice. Be willing to go and find an expert and pay them for their time, because that's their livelihood.
Bye.
But it has been a massive learning. There's a huge learning curve for me for doing this. I don't regret any of it, because it's brought me this huge family that has become, such a central part of my life. And I adore my family that I've gotten through this experience. But it's been tough just trying to figure out what I'm doing. So honestly, if someone is going to do this like we do, research it. Know what you're getting into. Go research your state's tax laws. Go research federal tax laws. Go make sure you're doing everything by the book when you get started. Otherwise, you are going to be spending so much time trying to figure out what you're doing when you're doing it.
That's true, because if you just dive in thinking, well, all I have to do is make cool stuff and sell it, that's the end result. That's not all the work you have to do before you're able to do that. There is a lot of prep work, and like you said, research. You have to research. You have to read. You have to, if you have to go to LegalZoom.com. I just plugged LegalZoom.com. Can you pay me now? Just to make sure that you are lined up the way you need to be, in a way that suits what you need to do. Taxes on the state level, on the federal level, on the, on sales tax, on income tax. It's taxing.
There's a myriad of rules and regulations, and you don't realize that when you just go into it. You think I'm just going to be making some cool shit, and I'm going to sell it to people who like cool shit. But you don't realize just how much paperwork there is when you go into this. So, I mean, honestly, if I can save one person having to go through the consternation I do with paperwork, I feel like I've done a good job.
Absolutely. And it's also important to know, and this is just through my experience of knowing you and being friends with you, that, Elizabeth has so much passion for what she does. And just to give you some background, like she said, she's been in school for a long time. She goes to school. She also works. And she has a family. And she has her shop. So with all of that being said, and her shop right now, you have to shut it down you open your shop on the first of the month, and then a few hours later you close it and put it in vacation mode, because you've received the maximum number of orders that you can handle for that month.
Yeah.
And it wasn't always like that, but it's like that now. I mean, it's funny because you'll talk to me about people who are disappointed. Like, I wanted to be able to help them, but they didn't get in on time, and I know I can't do quality work if it's rushed and, but my point being, Elizabeth has all of this going on and she has the passion to plow through all of that. With that being said, so my point is it's a lot about drive and wanting to make it happen and believing in the process too. For me, I have my shop full time. I do every United States Supernatural convention that there is. So I've been traveling a lot. I have 3 young kids. I have a grown kid who just got married. I have a husband who, has health issues. So I've got a lot going on and I'm doing everything I can to make it work. So it won't work if you're not willing to bust your ass to make it work is what my point is. And if you can't make it work, no matter how hard you work, if you don't love what you do.
Right.
You absolutely have to love it.
Exactly. And I mean, there is no, I absolutely love what I do. If I didn't, I wouldn't be doing it. And I'm sure that you're the same. It's like if you didn't absolutely love going to the conventions and making your pieces, you wouldn't be doing this. We could find something else to do.
I would be losing my mind if I didn't love what I did, because I'm telling you, and you know this because how many times do we jump on Twitter DMing at like 2 o'clock in the morning because I just feel like venting about something, and then you reply right back like, what the fuck are you looking for? Because you're working as many hours as I am.
Yes.
I am working literally, if I'm working like 16 to 18 hours a day, and I don't get weekends off because my boss is a bitch. So, it's you have to have the passion and love for what you do and believing in your products and wanting to commit to it the way that we're doing it. It's not just let me make a buck and sell cool shit. It's eventually, I mean, that's like a very big picture thing, but there's so much behind the scenes that needs to happen before you get that to happen.
Right. And there's a lot of behind the scenes that people don't see with us because they see our finished product. They see, they see the pop, they see the necklace. They don't see all the stuff that happens behind the scenes, what we do when we're not online. So, but people need to realize that it's there.
Well,
we're human too.
Right, which is why I asked you to give us a tour. And when you panned over to the prototype wall, keyword guys, prototypes, those weren't things that she was selling. These were things she was making to figure out how to make what she sells. Look at all that shit. Show it again.
Takes money, takes time. I mean, it's over there in the corner. Let me see if I can zoom it. It's on my laptop, so. But yeah, I mean, each one of those takes their own time and materials to make, which, I mean, I love getting suggestions from people on Twitter. Like, I love hearing from you guys. I love hearing, could you make this? Have you thought about this? But I want to make all the characters, but there's only so many hours in a day. There's only so much paint I have. There's only so many figures I have in inventory. There's only so much I can do. I am a one-woman show. Everything that comes out of here is made by these 2 hands. And that's not only the figures, but that's the boxes too. I mean, I do have thankfully, I have good friends like Simi and my friend Anna who help me do the art for the boxes. So like the little people that's on the box, they help me with that. But for the most part, I'm doing the Photoshop work to get the boxes together. I'm printing them, I'm cutting them, I'm putting it all together and shipping it out. And that's a lot of work for one person.
The boxes, I need to show you. I mean, the boxes are so well put together. I mean, there we go. Yeah, I mean, they are, she took my logo and put it on here. The artwork, and all sides of this box have detail on them. It's so well done, professional looking, and high quality. So she's not kidding. I mean, the box alone is a project. I can imagine.
It is.
Right?
It takes I mean, I've gotten faster because if it's something for a new line, so like if I'm making a new Supernatural pop, I've got the original Photoshop file, and it takes me maybe 5-10 minutes to actually put together a new box. But if I'm doing it from scratch, so like my new Archer boxes, my Bones boxes, I'm having to design that box from scratch because there's not an original line from Funko for that. That's all on me. I'm having to design the box, make it look somewhat presentable, make sure it fits with the Funko collection, because that's kind of what I do. And that can take hours to do all the Photoshop work.
I can imagine. We're gonna jump over to the chat window again. Wow, there's so much stuff.
They get really active in there.
Karen was asking what you were majoring in.
I am actually getting a master's degree in creative writing, editing, and publishing. So that's been my dream since I was 7, was to be a published author. This just kind of fell in my lap. But I hopefully will be graduating in May with my master's degree. That's the plan. And I'll hopefully have a full finished draft of my thesis by October. So
wonderful. It's so exciting. Whose head is on a tree in the background?
Whose head is on a tree? That's actually for a commission that I'm working on right now. Yeah, that's my lovely head tree. I have 2 of them. One of them has the wings from my unfinished Archangels project. I'm still working on those. I gave the Lucifer that I was working on to Mark Pellegrino, so I have to make another Lucifer.
That's a good problem to have, actually.
It is a good problem to have, and he loved it. So I was really happy that he liked it. But yeah, so I'm having to paint another set of pink wings, and then I have to make Gabriel, Michael, and Raphael. So I'm hoping to have a full Archangel set, and then the head is for a commission. I'm working on a Celine from Underworld for a customer. Usually that's a lot more full than it is right now, but I've been trying to get a lot of orders out, so.
Okay, so we'll jump back here for a second. Melanie is saying, as someone who wants to begin selling her art, I'm absorbing these tips like a sponge.
Well, good, because these are things you should learn. You should know before you get into it. I wish someone had told me this stuff when I was first starting. When I was first opening my shop and figuring out what I was doing, I really wish I'd had someone to tell me, maybe you shouldn't do that. Thankfully, I have that now.
I'm happy to help. But yeah, I mean, like I've been in business now for over 9 years, and it's taken, I didn't have anybody. I was the only one out of all my friends and family doing this, and I really didn't have access to people who knew what they were doing, so I kind of had to figure things out on my own. So I probably went about things the long way around, but I finally figured out what works for me and makes sense, and I love what I do. I love what I do, and I love helping other people do what they're doing. It makes me so happy.
And answering weird questions at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Speaking of, I think I saw a comment here from Ori. She wrote, "I love you, but if you ever DM me at that time, I'll get back at you in the morning." Back to you. She means back at me. She would kill me.
I'm awake at 2 a.m. because I get home from work at like 10:30. So I go straight back to work on my workshop. So I mean, I'm conscious of that at that time. I get a string of gibberish, but I'm sort of conscious.
It's I had to actually, and I wish I had the book with me. It's over my studio. I had to, for time management purposes, and I've only done this recently. So as I said 2 seconds ago, I've been in business for over 9 years, and I've only just given myself a schedule like a week ago. Yeah. I go about things a long way, but I get there. So I actually, what I had to do is I had to make a list of each and everything I needed to do in a day. You know, everything from social media and marketing all the way down to, you know, new products, filling in orders, prepping for cons, finances, you know, paying my taxes. For every convention that you sell in, you have to be a registered seller in that state. And you will then be required to file taxes with said state. And some states are monthly, some are quarterly, some are semi-annual, some are annual, some are, you know, who knows? And it's a lovely puzzle to figure out, folks. So anyway, I made a list of all of these daily tasks that I have to do. And then I had to break it down to, okay, how can I be the most efficient? I had to give myself permission to, okay, well, I could sit and do my orders all day long, or I could sit and do new designs all day long. Is that the best way to spend my time? Because then everything else I'm doing I need to do is suffering because I'm not doing it. So I had to give myself time slices for each thing. And I'm still working from 6 in the morning till 11, 12 o'clock at night at minimum. At minimum. I'm usually working later than that. So it's, no matter how you slice it, a lot of work. A lot of work. Lots of different stuff.
You also have to find time for sleep.
Sleep?
I know. Sleep? That's a luxury.
This is how I sleep. Anyway. Oh, and Simi had written that you are a perfectionist and you're very passionate. And he learns from you a lot as a creative person. And people don't understand or see what it takes to do what we do. They think it takes 10 minutes to create something, and yes, that's your design thing. That took ages.
Yeah, I mean, I will admit, some of the ones that I do, like if I've been doing it for a while and I know the kinks, I've worked them out, I know what I'm doing, yeah, I could get one done in an hour or two. But then the more complex ones, I'm having to spend longer on them. So it's a juggling act, really. And then also I've got to find time to make new designs, because some people don't want to order the same old boring shit. They want to see, you know, what am I doing now? What's the new hottest thing? What's the new thing that's coming out? So I've got to find time to do those. And I mean, if I could do just new designs all the time, I'd be super happy, because I love that part of the process. I love the puzzle solving. That's probably my favorite part, is what is it going to take to get the idea out of my head and get it actually in a physical form.
Well, speaking of new things, you did a new thing.
I did do a new thing. What new thing are we talking about? I've done a lot of new things.
You did a new thing that you're going to give away if someone answers a trivia question correctly.
Yes, I did do a new thing. Say hello to the first ever Pocket Pop, Little Pop Pocket Pop. And that is Gabriel, in case you can't tell. The camera's kind of stinks. But yeah, the first ever Pocket Pop prototype. I made it special for the live stream.
Well, welcome to the world. He's adorable. He's adorable. And for those of you watching live, you will have a chance to win him. Yes. If you answer a question that the lovely Elizabeth will be asking straight out of the Supernatural Trivial Pursuit game.
Yes, because I'm a nerd and I collect nerdy games. All right. Let's go with, what food does Dean share with Death during their first encounter in Chicago?
That's a good one. The first person to respond in the chat window correctly, no typos, because I'm a grammar Nazi, will receive the Pocket Gabriel. Karen, you got it. Karen answered first. Pizza.
Yes and no.
Oh, it's yes and no. Oh, shit, I'm wrong. I am so bad.
It's a specific type of pizza, guys.
Oh, it's a specific. Oh, okay. Ori.
Remember.
Ori got it. Ori put deep dish pizza.
Yes, Ori gets it because it is. It's deep dish pizza.
I'm sorry, Karen. Oh my God. I fucking
That's
suck.
why I use the cards, because sometimes I forget these things. Sorry,
I am so sorry. Okay.
Karen.
I'm sorry, Karen. I suck. Wow. Okay, now Oriana's screaming. Ori's screaming. I'm sorry. Oh God, Karen. All right, you have permission to roast me on Twitter for 2 hours straight.
I will be too busy doing other things to do that, but I'll get you later.
Karen can kick my ass. Okay, so now, oh wow, we're running overtime. Do you have time for, let's see, how about 2 more questions? You cool?
I'm all yours for as long as it takes.
Okay, so it wouldn't be So Get This interview without my stupid Stranded Island question. So for those of you who have not seen an episode before, my question is, if you were stuck on a stranded island, and I have to put that on this island, there is a giant force field around it that prevents anything supernatural from using their powers. So if you're an angel, you have no mojo. If you are, you know, a demon, you can't like smoke out or anything. You have no powers. Zip. You're basically human. Who would you choose, or what creature would you choose to be stranded on this island with, and why?
See, if you had said I could have Mojo, it would have been Gabriel, because he would be so much fun to be stranded on an island with. But I would probably pick Sam, just because I could actually have a conversation with him. I mean, I could probably have a conversation with Dean just because I share a lot of the same likes. I grew up on a lot of the same music he did. I've been listening to the 70s station on Pandora for the last 2 weeks because of nostalgia. But I would probably be more interested in talking with Sam if I was going to be stuck on an island. And he's pretty resourceful. I think we'd get along.
Oh, that sounds nice. Especially, you know, you're a writer too, so that kind of makes sense. Makes sense that it would go that way. And the last question I'm going to ask is, oh, Ori's screaming, yes, Sam girls unite.
Technically, I'm still a Dean girl. I would just be stuck on the island with Sam. So sorry, Ori.
Tommy's saying he would have gotten a Buck Rogers trivia question. I'm sorry, Tommy. You know what? We can make that happen sometime. We'll try to make that happen sometime. So if you keep watching, you subscribe to me, and I guarantee you we'll try to make it happen. And Lauren Wallace, she's a very good friend of mine too. I love her. Hi, Lauren. Are you going to start selling the pocket ones, because she would like a Chuck one?
I'm going to see how well that works, because they're a lot harder to customize, because 1, the scale, and 2, there's not as many of them. They're not as prolific as the regular Funkos, so there's limitations to what I can do. But I can look at seeing making other characters. I'd love to make a Chuck for myself, so that might just be something I look into doing.
Cool. Because I mean, Elizabeth and I were talking about this earlier before we went live, about how it's hard to work on smaller things. You know, like, you know how I do the minis and the micro minis of my designs? They take a lot longer to make. It's hard to work small. And Elizabeth, you were telling me that that was your experience too.
Yeah, this one took me about 6 hours. It took me as long as my original Gabriel to make because one, I had to figure out how exactly he came apart because I wasn't sure. I lost an arm for a bit there. It disappeared. So I had to spend like 20 minutes trying to find it because it's so tiny. And then, you know, had to do multiple coats of paint. You're having to sand. You're having to add on to it. And then you're having to put it back together in a way that doesn't look completely awkward. It's a whole other level that I don't think I was 100% prepared for. I'm pleasantly surprised he turned out as well as he did.
Well, it looks amazing. And Sarah Castro has a question, and I believe she asked it earlier, and I'm sorry that I missed it. She was saying, she was asking if you would sell an Archangel set. I know you mentioned that you have a project currently underway.
The problem with that is that it uses wings that came from a shop exclusive, and they're harder to come by. So I'm gonna say no for right now. That this is just gonna be a personal set for me. I'm probably gonna have to say no just because it's harder to get that figure now. Sorry, Sarah.
It's okay, Sarah. It's okay. I'm sorry. Oh, she's negotiating. I love her. She's saying even without the wings?
Without the wings, yes. Without the wings, I have a Lucifer in the shop. We talked earlier about making a new Gabriel, so there might be a new Gabriel coming soon. I have Michael. He's technically my young John, but it's Michael. And I'm working on a Raphael. So a regular Archangel set would be possible, but with the wings, it's not going to be possible.
Okay, so we can look forward to that.
Yeah.
Wingless. And Lauren's asking how much the pops run. And what I would just like to say is, Lauren, we're going to post, actually, in the description of the video, when it loads to my channel in a little bit, will be the link to Little Pop Workshop's Etsy shop. And you will be able to go in and look at, you can, even though you're on vacation mode, you can still go in and look, right?
No, you can't. You can only see the reviews, but you can DM me on Twitter or email me, and I'll be happy to talk prices with you and show you pictures of any that you're interested in particular. My DMs on Twitter are always open. I always have my inboxes open. So any of my social media sites, you can come find me.
Awesome. Okay, so just get a hold of her on Twitter, DM her. Never ask prices out in the open on social media, just because it's a sensitive topic, and the best way to address it is through DMs and emails or private messages.
Right. Especially if you're asking for a request or a commission versus one of my listings. It's just better to send me a DM and then we'll work it out.
Sounds like a plan. Okay, well, let me see, what have I got? Oh, okay, so the last question is, do you have any final words of wisdom you would like to bestow upon us?
Honestly, if you're looking to, beyond what I said earlier about research and knowing what you're getting yourself into, if you're wanting to open a business and do art with it, I would just say get comfortable with yourself as a person first. Be willing to take criticism. Be willing to have someone message you and say, you know, your stuff sucks. Or, you know, I could do this better. Or, you know, my cat could paint better. You know, but don't have such a thin skin is basically what I'm saying, because you'll drive yourself crazy trying to figure out, okay, what could I have done better to make this person happy? When it really should be about you. It really should be about you being fulfilled by what you do. I mean, yes, you want to make sure your customers are happy with what you give them, but you should get something out of it too. And if you're not getting anything out of it, it's not work worth doing.
That's very, very true. That's very, very true. You know, and there are times, you know, going back to what you said about having a thick skin. I mean, you and I talk about this a lot, like a lot. You know, just to give you an example, I had given someone a coupon for a big percentage off. And, you know, I don't have to give those away. Sometimes I do. And I thought I was doing something nice for somebody. And as you know, I just launched my new website, my new standalone shop. It's outside of Etsy. So there are some kinks in there that are still being worked out. But for the most part, it's running smoothly. So anyway, this person contacts me saying, I just tried to use your coupon and it doesn't work. Why? And like a very nasty email. Like, I mean, I summed it, like she was just very like ungrateful and rude and like, wow, I was doing something nice for you and you're mad because you clicked the button and it didn't work and I could just fix that for you. But you know what? Okay. I will rant. I will vent. I may say a few things, but would I ever change what I do because I have someone that's not happy? Absolutely not. You have to do it for yourself because you're never in a million years, and that no matter what you're doing with your life, you're never going to make everybody happy. And you can't live that way either. You can't live to make everybody happy. You have to live to make yourself happy. And if what you're doing to make yourself happy happens to make everybody else happy too, well then, voila, you know?
It's just icing on the cake.
Right? Exactly. So like what Little Pop Workshop does brings an immense amount of happiness and joy to a lot of people. And she happens to love doing that too. So it just works out, you know? And, you know, she has experienced stuff, you know, from customers or potential customers, just as I have, just as anybody has. And you can't let things like that pull you under because, I mean, yeah, I'm not going to say I'm not this like wonderful human being that just looks at it and goes, oh yeah. No, I get mad. I get pissed. I cry. I curse. Yeah. But I get it out of my system and then I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever, I'm good, let's move on. And you have to do that. Otherwise, it's just, you're not going to be able to do this because you're by putting yourself out there, like we put ourselves out there every day, you know, we're tweeting pictures of our creations, we're trying to sell our creations, we're very vocal and out there about what we do. We're exposing ourselves to tons of criticism every single day. It's a risk that we're willing to take because we believe in what we do. And there are times where people will come back and give us absolutely amazing constructive criticism. Mm-hmm. And you have to be open to it. You mentioned it earlier, being open to constructive criticism. Absolutely.
Right.
And no, I'm sorry, go ahead.
And speaking as someone, I mean, I have like intense anxiety. Whenever I'm getting something ready to send it out to the world and show it off, I'm like, are people going to like it? You know, is it good enough? Is it good enough for me? Is it good enough for them? Is it good enough to put it out on the internet? Is it good enough to even tag the person who is the person that I made, you know? There's just so much doubt and everything that runs through my head. And it's taken me this long. It's taken me the 2 years that I've been doing this to get to the point where I can say, yes, brain, shut up. It's fine. Post it.
You know, would you say you're more comfortable? Like, has it gotten easier to do that?
It has, in some ways it has, and in some ways it hasn't. It depends on the day. It's like anything when you're dealing with that kind of you know, when you're just dealing with your own brain fighting against you. It's a struggle every day.
Okay, but on the flip side of it, what makes those types of risks worthwhile are when you get tweets like the tweet you got, was it yesterday or the day before?
Tuesday, Monday or Tuesday. It was
Okay.
earlier this week.
Do you want to talk about that tweet really quickly?
Yeah, it was Eric Kripke, the creator. I call him the father of Supernatural because he's like the ultimate dad. The father of Supernatural and Timeless. I had made figures of him and Sean Ryan, who are the showrunners for Timeless, and he had messaged me saying he wanted it. So I finally got it to him. I finally got to send it to him earlier last week, and he got it, I think Tuesday, and he tweeted a picture of it. And it was kind of like, oh my God, I lost it in the moment. I was jumping up and down. I was making happy Wookiee noises. I was losing it because this man created something that changed my life, fundamentally changed my life. Because I've gained a huge family. The Supernatural fandom, the family has accepted me and accepts me as me. And that's an amazingly crazy thing, for a kid who didn't really have a lot of friends growing up, who buried themselves in fictional worlds. To have that family is the best feeling in the world. And he gave that to me. Even indirectly, even if he didn't mean to do this, to create this for all of us, but he gave that to us. So the fact that I got to give even a small bit of joy to him made my day and kind of made my week. I'm still reeling from it.
I can imagine. Well-deserved reeling.
Yeah.
Well-deserved. That's awesome. And I'm so happy. I when you showed me, I'm like, I lost it too. Like, oh my God, look what happened. But that's fantastic. So with that, oh, I'm sorry, guys. I promised one more quick run through to make sure we got everybody. Okay. Major hugs. Melanie saying makes you braver and more awesome to put yourself out there in spite of anxiety. Oh, you guys are. Ori says threaten to throw lemons. Oh, I think this was when I was talking about being upset. Apparently I have a thing about when life gives you lemons. Yeah, I've been coming up with new ways of ending that sentence. I like the one I did last night.
My favorite is always, chuck it back and demand chocolate. Chuck it back.
That's a nice one. The first one I wrote was when life gives you lemons, throw them back at some asshole's face or something like that.
I've heard one where it's like use the lemons to burn their house down or something like that.
Or he had said, something like, I forgot what you said, Ori. You took it to another level. Something about, I don't remember, like putting holes in the lemons. Oh, putting salt on the lemon and then squeezing it. And then I said, and you forgot about the, like, there was something else. We had a whole thing. It was scary.
All I remember from that is never make Ori mad. Never.
Oh, I remember.
I will stay on her good side forever.
Yes. Yeah, we don't need the angry Ori. No angry Oris.
But luckily, I know the best way to pacify her. Luckily, I know.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, I want to thank you so much for hanging out well past our bedtime here.
Well, I still gotta go make dinner, so.
Oh God, that's right. You didn't even eat yet. I am so sorry.
What time is it?
It is 9:19, Raven.
We decided we were gonna wait and have dinner afterwards and play board games and just veg for the rest of the night because I need that.
It's also 9:19 in Elizabeth's time. She's in Texas. I guess. Well, can I finish now, Raven?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you all for being so patient about my video bomber. I love it. Thank you. So I want to say, well, not bedtime, Simi. I meant like the sunset of this episode. It's time to put this show to sleep. Well, the episode to sleep, not the show to sleep, please. No. So thank you again, and I want to thank everybody for watching. And when the video is uploaded to my channel, which should be pretty shortly, I will have it updated. Right now, in the description of the video, it does have the link to Little Pop Workshop, but we'll be adding more information to that regarding the products that are promoting the causes that she was talking about earlier. And any other fun stuff we could think of throwing in there. And maybe, Karen, we will throw a link in there to those lemon rants you're talking about, because why not?
Yeah, why not? You can see how crazy we are.
It's my show and I can do what I want to. Anyway. So if I want to make it about lemon rants for an hour and a half, we could do that. I think that should be an episode.
People would watch it.
I think so. There we go. Okay, so I want to say a good night. Go eat. Go play. Don't bake tonight. Just rest. Yeah. Oh, yeah. The Video Bomber has given you permission to rest as well.
Thank you, Raven. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, and I will probably be talking to you later.
Of course.
All right. And have a good night. Thank you again.
Good night.
Thank you for having me again.
And you'll be back.
I'm sure. In some form or fashion, I'm sure.
All right. Good night, everybody. Bye.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Have fun tomorrow.